Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now today we have another dyno tune day. What? This car's had literally 100 tunes, I swear to God. But I haven't had one for a while, and there's a few different things that I've done recently, and it really has never been tuned properly. Like every time I've gone to do a tune, something's either gone wrong or we found a shortfall in fuel or air or belt slip or anything, so it's never had a proper tune. But each time I go, there's progressive increase. So I think the very first time we had I think it was about 460 horsepower, and then we got 490, and then the last tune at Harrop was on a hub dyno, and that did about 650, but that was at the hub. So today we're going down to Western Suburbs Mechanical. Now they've got a roller dyno there, so it'll be hopefully over the 500 mark. I'm going to be happy with. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to head down there, tune this thing up, and hopefully it'll be the last time we have to touch it.
Sam from Built Not Bought.
Ooh. How you going? Good, man. How you been? Air handshake.
How hard is it to get some of the stuff off the top of your rig?
The rooftop. Didn't I ask you to measure it?
I meant to say something.
If you got a hoist, we can put some pipe in it and it will just lift it off.
Yep.
Do you want to do that?
Yep.
Oh my God, so how's that? So one of the boys, Jesse, had one job to do. I rang him yesterday, I'm like, how much room is in that dyno room? And he's like, yeah, I'll measure it for you. I'll give you a call if there's an issue. Rock up. He didn't bloody measure it. So now we've got to pull the canopy off because the roof is at that level, which seems to be a problem a lot of the time with me. So it shouldn't be too hard. A couple of bolts. It's going to make it go faster though. It's not so heavy. All right, might just get So we went outside, the boys had a spare hoist available to be able to pull this canopy off. Pretty simple, a couple of bolts on each corner, put some rods in, lift her off. Alright, so I was sorting out getting that canopy off. I thought I'd just run you through what's changed since the last tune. So the last time we tuned it was at Harrop in Victoria. Now we had an issue with the fuel and essentially the air mixture. We were running out of fuel at the top end. So I've changed the fuel pump to a larger pump, and at the same time we've now got both the snorkels plumbed up. So with having more fuel and more air, technically means more power. So obviously the belt's been changed too, so we're still running that 8 PK with the special little alternator pulley that stops it overrunning and throwing the belt, because that was the first issue. We're having belt slip, and then it was throwing the belt, and now we've got fuel issues. So with everything done, technically there's nothing else that should be holding this thing back. So fingers crossed, right? Alright, so as usual, taking the knobblies off of the dyno tune. Now I've done this at other dynos, and the reason for that is one, because they're so much bigger. You can imagine in fourth gear, that's what you tune a car on. The speed, the road speed is ridiculous. So with the rolling diameter, you don't want these flying around at like 150 Ks, because these knobblies can fly off. And two, traction. So having the road tire, you get a lot more surface area on the rollers, so you're getting actually a more true reading. These might cause slippage on the rollers, so that's why we're doing it. Alright, so while we've got Chris just sorting out the patrol on the dyno there, I'll probably show you some of the stuff they do here. It's crazy. Like Western Suburbs Mechanical, we've been running for like years, man. 1960, 80 I reckons. And Chris actually did his apprenticeship here, and now he's been running the place ever since. So they really know their stuff, and they like the preferred kind of dealer tuner for a lot of the Harrop stuff. So they really know their stuff when it comes to Harrop, which is what I need with my setup. So a couple of the race cars they got here, that's something that Chris, that's his personal car that he runs. Another one built for a similar series. This is a mate of his, but he reckons it puts out like 690 horsepower or something. So like more power than a V8 supercar. Obviously they've got a lot of restrictions, but the class they run here, they can do a lot more. So that's pretty sweet. But there's heaps of customers' cars. They're always doing like engine swaps, like supercharger packages, cam packages, fuel pumps, anything you can think of, they do it. So heaps of cool stuff going on. What's this one, LSA?
LSA, yeah, GDS.
LSA GDS, look at that, the latest and greatest. Chris was telling me before, they're hiding the coil packs on it. So like, depending on what the customer wants, they'll literally do whatever you want. So aesthetics as well as power, they do it all. Alright, so now the thing's strapped up and ready to go. We're essentially just going to do a baseline run to see where it's sitting and then work up from there. Alright, so the first pre-run we've done straight the way it came in, haven't touched anything yet, so we've got a 521, so we've already hit that target of 500 horsepower. So like I was saying at Harrop before, we had it on the hub dyno, so now this translates to that at the wheels power. So now we can try and tweak that top end and sort out this fuel ratio up the top, and we might grab a little bit more up there, so we'll see how we go. But that's at 5.5, so where's the limiter usually on these? Let's try and get 400 kilowatts, that'd be cool. Yeah, all right. All right, so we've done another run, a couple more tweaks, and we've got a bit more power out of it. You're not quite done yet, are you?
Oh, no, we're
still got more to play with, but we've got over, what's it at?
586 horsepower at the moment.
586 horsepower.
We're getting a fair bit of wheel spin, you know, over 5 grand at the moment. So if you follow the torque line over there, like these things just don't drop off torque like that. So when that's dropping down like that, that's wheel spin.
You can see an obvious dip there. So yeah, wheels are just, is it the way it's strapped down, or is it lifting up and spinning, or is it just
that's just horsepower
the tread
on these? We'll muck around with the strap to try and tighten down a bit tighter and go from there. But their fuel ratios are getting pretty close.
Yep.
We've got to look at that air intake temp, like that was 90 odd degrees air intake temp there, so there's some more power.
Yeah, I've had dramas for ages with my the intercooler pump. I think it's got a bit of an airlock, so every now and then I notice that my intake temps get up around 60, 70 degrees, and they should sit at like 40 when you're cruising around town. So trying to chase that problem, and that'll obviously cooler air means a bigger bang and more power, so hopefully we'll sort that out. But at least for a worst case scenario,
it's handy to have those temperatures up, because if you're in a mud box somewhere, no airflow, it's going to get hot. So you
want it to be safe for that kind of environment, so no, it's good. Yeah, so if you turn the ignition on, you'll see it, like it kind of circulates, and then it stops, and then it starts, and then it stops, and it's hard to chase an airlock when it's in a hose like that. Have you got some side cutters? So once we were happy with the thing circulating properly, we were able to do another couple of runs and get some more power. Try and get 600. I don't know if you can hear me or not. All right, so something that I was aware of and is starting to become a bit of a bottleneck, I guess you could say now, is the fuel delivery. So on the regulator that I've got, it's got a little barb on there which you can run into your boost line, and it kind of compensates, because as the boosted engine creates boost, it causes more back pressure in the cylinder, and when your injector opens, essentially because of that back pressure, less fuel flows into the cylinder. So we're seeing you should run about 58 pound, that's a stock LS rail, that's what we're seeing at idle, but as the engine revs and it gets up to boost, it's dropping down to like 45 psi of fuel rail pressure, and that's obviously causing less fuel going to the engine. So there's a bit more we can grab by increasing that rail pressure, but I can't adjust it because it's under the tray, and the way I've installed it, there's like not enough room there to get an Allen key on it. So I'm gonna have to try and do it in the tune and just richen it up a bit, but that's sort of the next limit now. But it's making plenty of power. That's like, I'm happy with that. get it over 600. That's a win in my eyes. Right, so after a bit of a play, Chris is pretty happy with it here. We obviously did that pre-run at like 520 horsepower, that's how it came in. But we've now managed to let it run all its way out to where it has its peak power, which was 643. But obviously this is all to do with the baseline. Every dyno is different, but it's essentially, we're looking at what we've picked up. So, you know, there's that good sort of 50, 60 horsepower at the top end there. And all through that full rev range is still looking pretty healthy. And the torque was close to 1,000. It was about 980, 990 Newton meters. So that's pretty awesome. So as long as it's a healthy engine and it's happy, that's all I'm worried about. Number is a number, but yeah, at least we can find that limiter now. All right, road test, and then we're out of here. Guys, there we have it. There is the latest dyno tune. The thing is running absolutely awesome. So heading back home now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to check out my Instagram for the latest and greatest updates of what I've been up to. Also on our Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take it easy. Peace. Hello guys, and welcome to Built Not Bought HQ. Make sure to click on the far left to subscribe to the channel. Click down below to see the latest episode if you missed it. And don't forget our merchandise on our website. See you in the next episode.